So yeah, I think it's really looking like the end. It's really, really looking like the end. So like I obviously reported on this yesterday. Um, I reported on this whole thing, and I felt like this was one of those ones where, yeah, it's like it's not good. This is not good. When it came to Cheryl Miller and Sue Bird, it's so funny when Cheryl Miller was, pro Caitlin Clark, the old WNBA fans hated her. But now that she's criticized Caitlin Clark, and by the way, rightfully criticized Caitlin Clark, because I'm being honest, if you've ever played on a team and you coach, even if first of all, I'm not calling Stephanie White an idiot. I'm not saying it now. I'm not using that as an argument, but anyone who's played sports has played for a coach that has said or done something, and you think in that moment in time, they are a fucking dumbass. Everyone who's played sport has been given out to for something where they are in the right and someone else is in the wrong. It is not right to snap back publicly. In the changing room, it is what it is. And I've been there. I've been there. Like, where I've been in a position where as a coach, I've done it wrong. Whereas I've done something wrong as a coach. I've been a vet on a team where a young lad got blamed for something that they made from a mistake from somebody else, and had to they were getting into it with a coach because the coach yanked them out and started giving out to them for it, and I've had to pull them off and talk them off a ledge. Like, how you react to bad situations. Caitlin did not react well, and that's fine. That's fine. The problem is everything is under a microscope. Nearly all of us have been in positions where we've had lapses, where we've done something we probably shouldn't. Caitlin's done it twice in a week. And the problem is with the microscope under Caitlin Clark and this clip being viral, this is where the media has turned. Because the narrative is now, what are you complaining about? You just play defense. Caitlin plays more defense than anyone else in the Fever because there's no help defense. The team doesn't believe in help defense. The team doesn't believe in denying screens. The team doesn't believe in fighting over screens. It is just, we are going to let teams walk you into being iced out. Caitlin plays more defense than anyone else in this team. By sheer, freaking brute force, she plays more defense because she gets attacked in every single possession. And ironically, in points per possession, she's actually not bad. She's actually not bad as a defender. That being said, everything in sports media, it's now turned. Remember, it's 180. It's now 180 and said the Cheryl Swoops was right. Do you know what Cheryl Swoops did with Caitlin Clark? I shit you not. Cheryl Swoops listed off a bunch of incorrect facts about Caitlin Clark. Cheryl Swoops never said Caitlin Clark wasn't a bad defender. Like, she never said Caitlin Clark needs to get better on defense. No, she said Caitlin Clark is 25 years old, shoots 40 shots per game, played 5 years in college. She listed a bunch of incorrect facts about Caitlin Clark. But now apparently because she was anti-Caitlin Clark, she was right. Now and then you're seeing it in mainstream media now. The narrative is all bad. This is the Luka narrative. And by the way, do you know who one of the biggest people in the months leading up to the Luka Doncic trade that was pushing the narrative that the Mavs are better without Luka? Stephanie White. She was one of the people that were hardcore on the Mavs are better without Luka brigade. And we're now starting to see it by actual people in the media, not Caitlin Clark haters, not people that have been out for Caitlin Clark for years. You're seeing it with people in the media, again, that watch occasional games. Because no one that watched it's the reason why Mavs fans lost their damn mind. Nobody that watched every single Dallas Mavericks game believed that Luka Doncic was their problem. Nobody. But if you watched one of every 5 Mavs games, or you watched highlights, and you watched Luka getting attacked possession after possession after possession highlights, even though statistically he was a pretty damn good defender. All of these things. If you watched all of this happen, you would say, okay, yeah, Luka's a bad defender. If you listen to the media, okay, they're better without Luka. And this is a player who just led them to the finals, by the way. It's a player who just led them to the finals. All of a sudden then it's they're better without Luka, and Luka goes and gets traded. Like, everyone says, oh, it was the biggest shock, because no one thought it was really going to happen. No one thought it was really going to happen. Everyone thought it was just dumbasses in the media trying to drum up stories. Well, that's what's happening now. That is what is happening right now with Caitlin Clark. Everything in the media, even the Skip Bayless thing, the Fever within 20 minutes getting all the reporters on the line to say, this is false, this is false, this is false. Skip Bayless got tricked by a fake news page. He got tricked by a fake news page. And they made sure to stop that. No, like, you can, again, people in the media have been saying, like, completely incorrect stuff about, like, I've been going out of their way to tear down Caitlin Clark for years. For years. But as soon as one thing, false thing comes out about Stephanie White, from a person who's not even on TV anymore, who was never a reporter and is not even on TV, it's bang, we'll defend her. The franchise player for the Indiana Fever is Stephanie White. And you're seeing it now. There is, the boom's not there. The boom is not there anymore, by the way. It's gone. The boom is not there. The Fever are making their money anyway. People aren't going to games anymore. People are bored. People are bored of it. And that is the problem, is that when people get bored of you, there's the build you up stage and there's the tear you down stage. And it's very little to do with you. When people get bored of you, the tear you down stage happens. The media, the Fever are in the tear you down stage. As an organization, this feels like they are getting ready. They are getting ready to move off her. This feels like we are putting everything together so that we can go to Herb Simon and say, look, it's not worth it anymore. It's just not worth it anymore. You're seeing it there in the media. People are just like, because Skip Bayless, I mean this when I say this, Skip Bayless is a dumbass. Nothing that Skip Bayless should matter. But when Skip Bayless 2 years ago was live on Fox making up stuff about Caitlin Clark, like, there were so many things that Skip Bayless said when he was live on TV that were incorrect information about Caitlin Clark. He was making up facts about Caitlin Clark. Nothing mattered. And when him, long after his time on TV, makes up something about Stephanie White, immediately it's there. And suddenly it's everyone needs to stop. This is bad for the game. From everyone. Even the neutrals now. Is now Caitlin Clark bad. When the neutral has now gotten bored of watching Caitlin Clark, the neutral is Caitlin Clark bad, there's fatigue around all this, they are getting ready to get off her. And the scary part is that, just like a Luka deal, I don't know what you'll get for Caitlin Clark in a trade. Like, I don't know what you'll get for Caitlin Clark in a trade. And I mean this. The only place that I think, well, you will get any value is trading Caitlin to Washington. Like, they're not going to trade Caitlin to Chicago. Chicago have already dealt with Angel Reese. You're not going to trade her there. Golden State won't. No good team will take Caitlin Clark right now. Which is the scariest part about this. And it's nothing to do with Caitlin Clark, the player. And ironically, it's very little to do with the Caitlin Clark, the fans. It is that there comes a time where you are deemed no longer worth the hassle. And Stephanie White, and by the way, there will be a smart team that says, she's in a bad situation. We're going to bring her in. She's going to be the best point guard in the league. That is a fact. But when the general media, not Caitlin Clark haters, starts turning against you, and you as a team, instead of doing damage control about that, are making sure to pick out someone who fell for a fake news story, to double down on the general media and even neutral people's hatred towards a large chunk of your fan base. This is the Fever saying, we want Caitlin Clark fans gone. This is the Fever saying, we don't want these. We don't want this anymore. They are getting ready to trade her. They're getting ready to run down her contract. I don't know what they're getting ready to do. They are not getting ready to fire Stephanie White. Like, anyone saying, I would be shocked. And by the way, this is an opinion piece. I cannot stress this enough. This is an opinion piece. But everything that's happening, the way the FIFA are interacting, the way the media has turned, because you better believe, by the way, you better believe when the media starts pushing a narrative that a team's better off without you, you're gone. You're done. No one has ever beat that narrative. No one. Nobody does. Especially when you are a superstar. When that narrative is there, we saw Luka Doncic drag a team by himself to a finals and get traded a year later. And again, when the coach of the Indiana Fever, who has the ear of the front office, the only reason the Indiana Fever have not traded Caitlin Clark, or are not, if the Indiana Fever are not currently looking to trade Caitlin Clark, the only reason is because she puts butts in seats. And I'm sorry, with how little there is now money to be made in gate revenue, with the dwindling fan base, with the injury issues, and I don't know if the injury issues are she's really injured or it's a mental thing. Because when you have a bunch of injuries for the first time in your life in your 20s, you don't know how to deal with it. You're looking at a player whose value. Like, I've said this 6 months ago. If you went to Dallas and asked for Paige Bueckers, the pick that became AZ Fudd, and I don't know, what else would you have to get for Caitlin Clark? And another first. If you went to Dallas now and asked them for AZ Fudd, they'd say no. They would say no. Because they've got, I think they have the same contract. You could do that. If you asked them for AZ Fudd, they would say no. And if you asked them for AZ Fudd, it would probably be, okay, you're taking Alana Smith's contract then. We'll find a way to make it work, but you're taking Alana Smith's contract. Like, that's what it would take to get Caitlin Clark. Like, I don't think people understand. Point guards in this league made no money. Natasha Cloud could not get a deal because she wanted to be $1 million player, and teams did not think she was worth the hassle. I believe the Fever are on the edge of believing she's no longer worth the hassle. I fully believe that. Because I'm sorry, the Fever posting what they did, posting the Skip Bayless thing, the Skip Bayless, because everyone being like, oh, it was to get all the energy towards Stephanie White. That's the reason why Skip Bayless tweeted that. No. It's the opposite. The Skip Bayless tweet has now gotten the neutrals to be like, this is a joke. This is a joke. We're done. Caitlin Clark is not starting the 2027 season as a member of the Fever. You can tell by the way this organization has been working through things, because now the fact that they're again going and out of their way posting about it means like this has now become an internal issue. This has now become an issue amongst the team. This has been an organization that have been the gold standard in not letting outside noise affect you. And now suddenly it's clear the outside noise is affecting something. And at that stage, you got to make a decision. And if you are, there's not enough of a benefit for all the outside noise. There realistically isn't right now. And it makes sense with everything they're doing. I can't see Caitlin Clark ending this season as a member of the Fever. Nor can I see Caitlin Clark making Team USA, by the way. Nor can I see Caitlin Clark making Team USA. I can see Caitlin being gone very, very quick. Very, very quickly. And yeah, it is it's one of those things where you can see the way when the media goes a certain way, when an organization shows what they prioritize putting a stop to and what they're going to let run, when they're going to go out of their way and let all the hit pieces run, when they're still going to interact with journalists writing hit pieces about a player, when the first time there is a fake news thing that comes out about Stephanie White, they immediately go into damage control mode. I might be looking at this the wrong way, and maybe I'm overthinking this, but I don't think I am. I don't think I am. Because we saw it with Dallas. And maybe I have PTSD from the Dallas Mavericks. Maybe I have PTSD from Luka Doncic, who is the most like-for-like comparison to Caitlin Clark as a basketball player. It is one of those things where the narrative, what's his name? Nico Harrison believed the narratives around Luka. Patrick Dumont believed the narratives around Luka. And it was like when it happened, you saw the media all say, Nico Harrison was right. Even this year, when Luka was averaging 40 a game, Draymond Green, people need to apologize to Nico. Nico got fired for no reason. They should have kept Nico should have kept his job. There's a lot to be said for how that situation played out. And we are seeing a like-for-like situation. Except we are seeing post-2024 finals Luka Doncic media slander about Caitlin Clark. We are seeing an organization that is absolutely, in a similar way to Dallas at the time was loyal to Nico Harrison, that are going to be loyal to Stephanie White. And you're seeing now, I hate to say this, but no good coach is going to let Caitlin Clark get left on an island unless they're trying to prove a point. And I'm not going to say she's sabotaging it, but fuck it, she might be. I'm not guaranteeing it because it's the only way, because Stephanie White's a good basketball coach, it's the only way I can make sense of it. That Stephanie White is letting Caitlin Clark on an island so that she can say, here, see? Because you've now got Shannon Sharp, you've now got all the general media talking about how Caitlin Clark's defense is the reason the Fever are losing games. Despite the fact that they don't have any rim protection, they don't have any shooting, they don't have any athletes. Yes, Caitlin Clark is not having the greatest defensive season. The only game I will say Caitlin Clark was pathetic on defense was game 1 against Dallas. Other than that, she's been a better defender than Kelsey Mitchell, but it doesn't matter because Caitlin Clark's under the microscope. And the thing is that every bad game Caitlin Clark plays, every good game Caitlin Clark plays, it becomes a media frenzy. And it seems like there's only, when things are going well, or when things are, stepping up, you can ignore the media. You can kind of ignore the media, or you can look a little bit to it. When things are going badly, and there's there's crazy narratives going on, it is one of those things, where the same people that were hyping up this team, hyping up Caitlin Clark a year ago, have now gone and said basically she's the worst player in the world. You've got Cheryl Miller calling her out. You've got Sue Bird trying to show some grace, and Cheryl Miller being like, no, I'm ranting about Caitlin Clark here. It's all on her. And in halftime in another game, they didn't talk about the Aces and the Valkyries. They ranted about Caitlin Clark. And this is being allowed, by the way. This is being allowed. They took a halftime show for a different game to rant about Caitlin Clark. I'm sorry. The Indiana Fever, if they really had a problem with this, they would be on the phone right now and are like, you literally used they'd be on the phone to these networks being like, you used another team's game to rant about our player? Or if the league had a problem with it, this would have never slid. But no, the prevailing narrative is anti-Caitlin Clark. The league is fine with that being the prevailing narrative. The Fever are fine with that being the prevailing narrative. Why is that? It works out better for everybody if Caitlin Clark is off the Fever. It works out better for the league. It works out better for Caitlin Clark. It works out better for Stephanie White. It works out better for the incompetent franchise that is the Indiana Fever. It feels like that's the way we're going. And it is a win-win-win-win-win situation all around. Because all it's going to take is Caitlin Clark to be at a competent organization with a competent coach, competent rim protectors, and competent front office. To show that she's very clearly the best point guard in the world. It's just unfortunate that's probably not going to be in Germany for the World Cup because I don't see her making that team.